A reflection on the 2 magnitude 4 earthquakes in 2023 Seattle area. Today is Monday, 28 April 2025, and here I, Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, provide a reflection on my experiences during the 2 earthquakes in the Seattle area in 2023 that were each about 4 magnitude. One on 8 October 2023 that was about 4.5 magnitude, and one on 24 December 2023 that was about 4.0 magnitude. My main takeaway after the second of the 2 earthquakes was that I had forgotten how scary they could be since I experienced the 6.7 magnitude Nisqually earthquake on 28 February 2001. Between the Washington State earthquakes, so those were all in Washington State, I experienced an approximately 4 magnitude earthquake when I was living in Albany, California, 2016 to 2019. So I have videos at the place where I experienced each of the Washington State earthquakes I mentioned. I do not have a video documenting or reflecting the earthquake in California. I was in my room. Which is actually more like the 2023 earthquakes than the 2001 earthquake, which I was at school for. So the 2023 earthquakes, I was in this room for both of the earthquakes, the one in October 2023 and the one in December 2023. And I do have a Bachelor of Science degree in Geology and Geophysics and minor in Mathematics. And seismology and volcanology are 2 of the things that interested me very young. And I did study. I went the volcanology for research though, like for theses and that kind of stuff, and just more research. But earthquakes kind of come with my proficiency, my science category. I'd say the biggest one was, so the 6.7 was scary, but I was at school, and it was kind of very cognitively engaging because we had earthquake drills, and I kind of, you know, like I've said before, like the physical education teacher was the one who kind of, you know, told us to cover, because I was in an assembly in a big room and I wasn't the principal, so there was like some stuff where it was kind of like not necessarily what we had drilled into us, because it was always, you know, the teacher in charge of the classroom. So instead of the person in charge of the school, the principal was the physical education teacher. So it was cognitively engaging, and it was like a big one. It was scary, and like, what do I do with these? So they both had 2 pulses of shaking, and it shook, and then it was kind of like, is it done? And but it's not quite settled, and then would come the second shake. And I'd say after the first one, I was like, I'd be okay with not like having that happen again. And then the second 4.01 or the second 4 magnitude happened, and I was just kind of like, can we just stop? Like, which I don't think I had reached for the 6.7 earthquake or the 4 magnitude in California, approximately 4 magnitude in California. Back in 2016 to 2019. I was the only one at home. I was alone for that one, uniquely. So the 2001 earthquake, I was in a classroom setting, and then the one in California, I was solo. I soloed that earthquake, and I tweeted about it. I was the first of the people I followed to tweet about it. And then, yeah, so I published it. And then 2023, I did a video for each of the earthquakes within, I think it was 15 minutes, published here on YouTube. So I do have publication experience, but it's like spectator, but not spectator, because I was a participant documentation. There we go. So I'd say the biggest thing has actually been, I think I'm like, you know, like I at the time, and still I look at those numbers and I go, that's not a 8.5. You know, some people might be like, oh, it'd be like you experienced an 8.5 across 2 earthquakes. No, those were nothing like the 6.7. And I look at that and I go, I think I've gained a new fear of like an 8.5. It's like 8.2 sounds a little bit more soothing than an 8.5, but I think that would be terrifying. It'd be like, you know, I'm living in Woodway or something, and I'm currently living with my parents. And like, there's an earthquake, and I'm like, and I get a video during, that would be like, you know, a dream for my experienced earthquakes documentation. I was getting a dream during an earthquake. And then, like, you know, I get the video and I take my computer outside if it's not raining and, you know, make sure I get it all set up and then go back in the house and post it and come over and visit my parents, you know, and I walk in the kitchen, my dad's sitting at the island and he goes, I was like, did you feel the earthquake? And my dad goes, and my mom's there too, but my dad goes, the TV fell off the wall. We were watching TV. The TV fell off the wall. It's like, I'd be like an 8.2, right? It's like, but it's scary. And I'm documenting that now. My main takeaway was that it awakened a new appreciation of how scary they were, even at the, I think 4 magnitude level. And I was like, I think partially it was because they endured. I wasn't trying to figure out, you know, a bunch of people in assembly were like, there was no escaping them in my little room. The bamboo poles were shaking, you know, like, so there we go. That's a reflection on the 2 magnitude 4 earthquakes in 2023 Seattle area.